William H. Crook was Lincoln's primary bodyguard in 1865. Crook and the other security detail in the White House were members of the Washington, D.C. police force and were brought into the executive mansion to curb the astounding lack of protection around the president. The entrance doors and all the doors on the Pennsylvania side of the mansion were open at all hours of the day and, often, very late into the evening. Crook wrote, "In 1864, the White House was given 4 around-the-clock bodyguards, including Crook. On April 14, 1865, the night Lincoln was killed, Crook began his shift at 8 a.m. and was supposed to have been relieved by John Frederick Parker at 4 p.m., but Parker was several hours late. Crook was a joke as a policeman. During his short time as an officer, Parker was charged with dereliction of duty and conduct unbecoming an officer several times for being drunk on duty, sleeping on streetcars while at work, and visiting a brothel. Yet remarkably, he was never fired and actually assigned to the White House. It was Parker who attended Ford's Theater with Lincoln and was assigned to guard the entrance to the president's box. Parker stayed at his post for only a short time and then went to a nearby tavern with Lincoln's footman and coachman, and Lincoln was shot moments later. Parker was charged with neglect of duty, but the complaint was dismissed and was still assigned to work security at the White House. While waiting for Parker to arrive, Lincoln had told Crook that he had been having dreams of himself being assassinated for 3 straight nights. Crook tried to persuade Lincoln not to attend the theater. As Lincoln left for the theater, he turned to Crook and said, "Goodbye, Crook." Before, Lincoln had always said, "Good night, Crook." Crook later recalled, "It was the first time that he neglected to say, 'Good night' to me, and it was the only time that he ever said goodbye." I thought of it at that moment and, a few hours later, when the news flashed over Washington that he had been shot, his last words were so burned into my being that they can never be forgotten. Crook stayed on at the White House as a guard for Andrew Johnson, and it was Crook who brought the news to the president that he had been acquitted in his impeachment trial in May 1868. Ulysses S. Grant later appointed Crook executive clerk of the President of the United States in 1870 and dispersing agent in 1877.